people who are listening to this, maybe even it's not just offline, it's not just online. It can happen in real time, it can happen virtually, or it can be both. It can be in your real time life. So virtual can spill over to your real time life with gang stalking, and vice versa. Gang stalking in real time life can spill over to your virtual existence, your presence. So I will start by just walking it down real slowly. Let's get this let me do this. Let me screen share and read this article. So let's just see what this is, because you don't get to I see the ones who gang stalk and who are for it and think it's not a big deal and they justify it. Those are the people we want to stay away from. You don't get to gang stalk people because you don't like them. You understand? You don't get to do criminal activity toward people because you don't like them. That's something that is a misconception in the online community, and especially among the Black online community. I'm saying the Black consciousness online community. Notice how I kept going down, like going to the micro. You don't get to gang stalk anyone on or offline. You don't get to gang stalk people because you don't like them. You don't get to gang stalk Black people because you don't like them just because you're also Black. You don't get to gang stalk Black people who are Black like you just because they don't believe what you believe. All right? I know that sounds like to the sane and the intelligent people are like, duh, but believe me, there are people out there who think, I don't like Napa and Sonetter. I don't like DJ Genesis. So that means I get to gather people together, slander, lie, talk about their private lives and with slander and lies, try to humiliate them, twist their words, watch them day and night, every word they say, take it and clip it, spin it in a different context, deep fake their pictures, change their images, use images of their family. You don't get to do that just because you don't like us. It's a crime and it's sick. It really is. So let's read this. I think y'all understand. This isn't going to be long, I promise. I mean, maybe an hour. That's not long. So if you go to my law questions, it's a quick Google search, but I do some research on it, but you want to get the language that's very, very easy to comprehend. What is gang stalking? Now, this is by Margaret Lippman. Margaret Lippman isn't just nobody. She's not just blogging in her feelings, but it would be valid if she did experience it and just was vlogging or blogging. However, she's qualified to give us this information. So let's listen to what Margaret Lippman says gang stalking is. Please hit the like button because we're still want to stay in the algorithm with this. This is the good stuff. Gang stalking, a term that describes the orchestrated harassment and intimidation by a collective, that means a group, against an individual or maybe a smaller group, the HOK. Let me say that again. Gang stalking is a term that describes the orchestrated harassment and intimidation by a collective. A group of people is a collective. Queen's Throne, Neo X, Chris Harris, as of late, he's joined the horde. Solar Mind, who else is gang stalking? Uncle Suge. People come in and out of the group, though. It depends on if it's something that, if they're not too busy gang stalking someone else, they come in and they gang stalk Sonetter and me. However, there are gang stalkers in this community, and their horde is growing. It grows. And when you hear someone say, this is gaslighting, I need to look in the chat right now. I'm going to go from this article and I'm going to talk to you. When you hear someone say, everybody is right about you, that's gaslighting. Peace, Sonetter. I'm glad you joined. Because, see, those are the gang stalkers, my friend. The gang stalkers want you to think that because it's a large group, it must be everybody. But as you see in this article, it's not everybody. It's a large group. That's the scary part. But they're not everybody. There is a collective of very sick people who are hateful and destructive, and they continue to come together, and the group grows and it grows and it grows. So the gaslighting is, well, all these people can't be wrong about Sonetter and Nepal or DJ Genesis or Marquise. So that's the thing about gang stalking. It's a lot of people who try to validate the lie about one individual or two individuals or the individual's business and work. Sonetter, peace. I don't want to just keep rambling going on. How are you? Did you want to say something, King?
No, I'm good. I'm just listening.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your support. So that's the issue. So let's keep reading this article.
And Genesis is saying drop the link. She want to probably come in and say something.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. Yes, definitely come on in, because she's had an experience with with this very much. And she's had an experience with this by a person, I'll let her come in and say, who is very, very influential, but tells nothing but lies, y'all. Nothing but lies. Thank you for the super chat, Boss Trucker. Nothing but lies. There's the link, Genesis. So I'm going to finish reading this article. And as you listen, I want you to, people like Boss Trucker, Marquise, Joe, everybody out there who's just in the audience wanting to learn, peace, Genesis. And you've seen this thing go on about Nepal, she's doing this, she's lying, and Sonetta, and that is gangstalking. Because if you really look at us, we teach. All we do is try to teach, connect with the community. We always have to take time out to address the slander, the gangstalking, the harassment, the lies. So I'm going to finish reading this article, and then I'm going to let you guys jump in. I just muted you out a minute because I heard some background, Genesis, but if you want me to stop reading the article, you can stop me and say, yeah, both of you can stop me. But let me get back.
I was just saying, like, yeah, it's very interesting that you bring this thing up, and I'm glad you're doing a show on this, because it's so messed up how people will, like, get on a hate train against a person, and then you got like a whole group of people that like will jump in. And what I'm noticing in the sector that I was in is that you'll have people that will call up your job, they will call up your they'll find out where you work at, they'll drive past your house. In my situation, they drove past my house. Then most recently I had a person sit there and talk about my children. They befriended me only to like get information, and then when the time was right, went online and like revealed all this personal information about me. And this is in front of everybody. This person was a mental health professional and like befriended me specifically knowing that they were going to one day reveal all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Played the long game.
Right. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Now, y'all heard it. That's exactly what happens to me often. So Annetta has been in this longer than you and me put together. So he probably had this happen to him early on. But with me, women it's usually women. They'll befriend me and they'll be like, oh, I see how you're going through all this. And they will sit and literally turn on a recorder and record anything I say. It don't matter. I'll be like, oh, I'm getting DoorDash today. They will take that and turn it into a whole story like, oh, this bee don't even cook. All she does is get DoorDash, and her kids are so malnourished, and it's sick. You know what I'm talking about. So I love how you gave your personal account. I want to keep
that's not even the part, the half of it, because when they start to call up your job and get you fired, like it's so crazy because like with this particular person, she said my full name out loud and said my address. So my address is out there. Thank God I moved. But then the actual people that were actually on her side started turning against her. And every time she gets a YouTube channel, they get it taken down. So it's like they get to turn against each other after a certain point. You know what I'm saying?
You're breaking it down to a science. I don't want to jump too far ahead. That's exactly what happens, because really they don't have the same. The only thing they have in common is to tear down their target individual. And I want you to remember that phrase, a target individual. They all come together, no matter if they don't like each other. They come together. Like Chris Harris and Neil X really don't like each other, but now they're back best friends. Queen's Throne and Neil X don't like each other, but they're good friends because they have one target individual. I'm saying they have target individuals, Sonetta and me, and they add on anyone who comes in to support us becomes also a target individual of theirs. So this gangstalking is serious, and yes, they have done that. Genesis, people in this community know recently a woman paid some people to go to my mother's home. They put all my mother's address. They put my mother's name, her card, license, registration, everything on the internet. And she doesn't, and I'm letting her know, the woman, she calls herself Angel Food. She did it because of another man who also does gangstalking, who has also got a record of criminal sexual assaults and things of such. I should say, let me rephrase that. He was accused of sexually assaulting a child. And he also has sexual activity in a library. So I'm gonna let you go. When we expose that, because he was gang stalking us with other people, what he did was some revenge porn in his gang stalking against me, because Sonetta got him upset. So we exposed his record. So Angel Food went and retaliated by sending people to go to my mother's home and terrorize my mother. So it's scary. Go ahead.
There's always some kind of weird sexual thing going on too, where they either try to accuse you of doing something sexual bad or whatever. So it's happening on this side of things. It happens on others, like the one I'm in, like I'm going through. Like they'll try to accuse you of doing something like of like a really bad sort. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
There's no court record of anything that
Nothing.
But they'll go ahead and they'll put that lie out there, and that's defamation of character.
Yes, it's criminal, and it's not just that there's no court record. There's not one person or child in your life who has ever accused you of something. Yes, that is the way these gang stalkers, they use sexual things all often. That's a great, very strong weapon because it's a way to really defame and also to humiliate people. 100%. So let's keep reading this article. I appreciate your input. Let me go finish. So it says gang stalking is a term that describes an orchestrated harassment and intimidation by a collective against an individual or small group. It is a disturbing phenomenon with real world implications. According to the International Journal Environmental Research and Public Health, stalking affects 6 to 7.5 million people. In the US this year, with a subset potentially experiencing the group-based tactics characteristics of gang stalking. So basically, gang stalking is being acknowledged more and more, and there's more awareness. Now, I want to go back to the 80s real quickly. Before the term stalking was very well known and that people do it, there wasn't a term for people harassing you and following you and just focusing on you consistently, constantly, without end or without fail. So before the 80s, stalking wasn't even, people were like, what's stalking? So now we know what stalking is since the 80s. Now we're up in 2024. And before that, in the 2020s, gang stalking is a phenomenon that has resulted from part of the reason is because social media is so easy to bring people together to stalk one person. And there is this misconception that if you decide to put yourself in the forefront, if you decide to be on the public stage or on a platform, unfortunately, society looks at you as, well, you asked for it. Well,
no, you're a public figure, so therefore they have the right, just like a celebrity or something like that.
Exactly. That's a misconception, but that we need to change. Yes, you are putting yourself out there, you are getting known, but that does not give people the right to stalk you and to lie on you. There's a thin line between being a fan who supports you and being a stalker who wants to destroy your life. The difference is if I'm in the forefront and Genesis and Sonetta or whoever is on a platform or a celebrity even, if I put something out and I say, hey, I want you to know about this from me, then you get to know it, but you don't get to take it and then try to destroy my life. I want to repeat that. Because there's a woman, I'm not going to say her name. She's on the internet and there's many people like her. She came out and she was having a drug addiction. She was well known. It was catastrophic a lot of times. And then now she doesn't have the drug addiction anymore. She put her drug addiction on the front stage for people to help people and to say, hey, my life was a wreck. And now look, I dealt with it. I showed you. And now look, I'm getting out of this. People don't have the right to take her drug addiction and work day and night consistently. I'm not talking about do a commentary like, well, I don't like her for the drug addiction and this is why. And then they close the laptop and move on. See, there's very intricate details. I'm pointing this out. That's not stalking. When you consistently make a video or a post or constantly every day, every single day, or maybe even once a week on a person, you're now stalking that person. You can't say, well, this is commentary. I'm just trying to make you think. No, you're not. You're disguising stalking as doing commentary. You're disguising trying to destroy someone's life as, well, I have a right to free speech. That's why in my opinion, these T channels, I don't respect them. I mean, I don't go against them. Some of them are trying to do their best to give you, like, keep your finger on the pulse of pop culture. But a lot of these T channels that we have out here that gossip, I don't even look at them because I know how people have lied on me. I don't care how popular a person is, Jaguar, right? I know that you can't possibly be telling the truth about all the people you talk about because I have somebody who I know in my life, she's sitting on this panel, who I know you've lied on. So I can't believe anything that comes out of anybody's mouth, whether you lied on a friend of mine or not. I refuse to listen to gossip. I refuse to listen to tea. And I know you probably want to comment, but then I'm going to get back to reading this article. So I'm going to let you comment, Genesis.
And I was going to say this is that, gang stalking used to be a thing that people would like think that you were crazy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. People with schizophrenia, they might think that there's cars following them and filming people and this, that, the other. But it's taken another turn when you involve the internet, you involve content creators, and it becomes a real thing. I could tell you a situation that just happened to me like the other day. I would say like 2 days ago. I was sitting in my house and all of a sudden someone just banged on my door really hard. Bow, 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 bow. Now, I've never had no one do this, right? Now, this happened just recently after I got into it with another content creator. Banged on my door, boom, 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 boom. And then they're sitting in their car looking at my house, right? So I come outside my house And I'm like, what do you want? What? And they're just looking, staring at me. And I'm like, okay, hello. And my daughter's crying, you know what I'm saying? And then these people are just like staring at me. So I don't know whether or not these people were sent by the person that like I got into it with or whatever, but that was a weird situation. So then on top of that, like I've been getting all these calls, all these random phone calls and hang up calls. Like every 5 minutes they hang up the phone.
Damn.
Yeah, so they're like I'm getting like
do not open that door. Let me talk to you, not to interrupt you. I'm gonna get some information that's gonna say to protect yourself. Don't open your door. Don't. You got to change your way of thinking. I know that you feel like, yeah, I open my door. No, it's scary. Now that's what I'm pointing out to the audience that just sees these people thinking it's harmless. They come to our homes. They're coming to our lives. They really work day and night. Peace, Lady Kier. They work day and night to destroy us. Look at this comment. Yes, 100%. Top Cats was stalked by Chris. I love military men, Harris. Oh, I know you're going to say, hey, thank you, Honda Odyssey. That is true. Top Cat said it. Chris Harris was stalking him. It's no joke. It's not, it's for information. No, it wasn't for information. Because the brother said, listen, leave me alone. Stop stalking me. He stalked Dane Calloway. No, you can't disguise it as, I'm just doing information. I talked about that just earlier. When you cannot stop bothering people and lying on them as you bother them, putting them down, saying that they're lying in their work, saying that they're misleading people when you don't have any proof, saying that they've harmed people when you have zero proof. You're a gang stalker. And
they'll call CPS, the APS. They called CPS on me, called APS on me. I had to go through a whole investigation. Like they go really, really far with it. So it's a lot of time it's women. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, but the men are joining in now. This is why we have to talk. Elder Yara did a stream about the men, how they have to he did a call out to the men. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but he's like, look, we got to step it up because a lot of men are being hateful toward women on this internet. And men are now working with these women who have worked day and night. I'm talking about for years. Queen's Throne has worked for years. And it's not about, why are you saying their name so people go to their channel? This is for the people who are decent, who don't want to engage in this. I want you to see, if you go to their channel, go down their playlist. Sonetter, Napa, Sonetter, lies. Boss Trucker knows. He knows all Neo X does is lie and slander and stalk and lie and twist. 6-hour streams, 4-hour streams, 9-hour streams, 11-hour streams, all of them. They're sick.
Yeah, I've had a 13-hour stream done on me before. So
and
here's the thing is that so at one point I was involved with Carbonation and helping the people of Carbonation once they left Nature Boy. So there's a lot of hate that I got from just helping them out, and it got
you need to wait. I want you to explain that a little better because I want to let people know she was like a halfway house for them. I want people to know the good things you were doing, right? You just kind of skimmed by that. I want them to hear how you were like the refuge for them. You were like the halfway house.
Yeah, I was really trying to help them. I was even starting businesses with some of them, just really trying to help them get back on their feet, do different stuff. And that turned into a thing where they even turned against me in the end because I would be up on panels trying to fight for them. But then I guess it got turned the wrong way. Things got misconstrued. But the bottom line is that it got so bad that one of the members of Carbonation, her name is Velvet, was who's the wife of Nature Boy. She had left him and she moved to Ohio and she was living in her house. The gang stalking got so bad that a couple that was in Ohio where she was at went into her house, filmed her and her children inside the house, filmed the whole house. And then they went on this panel, showed everything inside her house, talked about her bad, whatever. And their justification was, she got donations and she was just giving them away because she was about to move. And that wasn't respectful of the people that gave her the donations. But she didn't sell them. She gave it to other people that was actually the people that came into her house to stalk her. She gave them all this free stuff for their family. And instead of them being thankful and grateful for it, they filmed her inside her house, filmed her kids, see how she was living, all that, and then put that online, So.
Perfect example of gang stalking. Thank you for sharing that. See, that's just what I was saying. They try to justify it we were exposing her for the donations. You are trying to destroy her life. Let's be real. You're jealous. And then you're going to see this in the information. If I could just let me stop. We got 2 Geminis up here on the panel, y'all. So we're going to be talking. Let me stop stopping. But it's jealousy because they had no reason to do that besides trying to destroy her life out of just some hatred toward her, some weird mental thing that they're dealing with on their own. And then they start trying to destroy people. That's what I want to say about Genesis. Genesis is a very, very generous. Genesis, the generous. She's very generous. She's very, she is. She's very welcoming. And I've told her sometimes Genesis, okay, I don't think you should do that. But she's just, that's her nature. She's very, 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 very giving, very open. And sadly, more people who are hateful and resentful toward her and jealous will come to her, and she'll be helping them. And the whole time they'll be like she said with Velvet, they'll be filming or just thinking, I got to destroy her. This is what also Sonetter's like that too. He is, as you see right now, we got Chris Harris turning against him. Sonetter built Chris Harris up. Chris Harris said it with his own mouth, not just Chris. Everybody who you see trying to tear Sonetter down, he has opened his heart and his platform and even his home to. They may not be on the public platform doing it, but they're part of the Gangstalking because they add the information. They help, they provide certain information that might be used when the people go live. So they all work together, and it's all because something about them that they don't like about themselves. Like they're jealous. The jealousy stems from like some mental thing. And so enough of my words. I want to just get through this article because I have another article that I want to get through so I can help you all be informed. I'm so happy Genesis is up here giving her experience, but let me get through this and then we can get to the next article and then we really can talk. Okay, the number of people, let me get to the next paragraph. The number of people involved in the gang varies. Individuals might receive gang intimidation from a handful of people in a work environment, or they may be targeted by an entire community. That's what's going on online right now. Victims relaying claims of gang stalking perceive the attackers as well-organized groups of people, and they are well-organized. They come together with one agenda: tear down HOK, defame Sonetter, defame Napa, and sleep. That's going to make them feel like they can sleep well at night. Victims relaying claims of gang stalking perceive the attackers as well-organized groups of people who not only communicate with one another in a certain location online, but also pursue the target in other areas by means of extensive contacts. When I went on to Real Life Street Stars, which is out of the consciousness community, Genesis, one of them found out, and they were all going to the Real Life Street Stars channel and saying all kinds of people were like, oh, this is an interesting person. So they would get in there and say, no, you need to find out. She's a PDF file, and her husband, they like to harm children. They even look for other places.
They love that pedophile thing because I got labeled a pedophile too. It's like that for some reason they're all obsessed with pedophilia. I don't know what's up with the gang stalkers, but they're always obsessed with some kind of like saying that you're a pedophile or you're like I was labeled a rapist and all type of stuff and a pedophile and all type of things.
Yes, because a lot of them are projecting, to be honest, because we found out about a lot of them. I'm going to say not all of them, but a lot of them have a background of some type of sexual SA, the abuse word. Sometimes they have that, unfortunately, has happened to them. I mean, a lot of them, the women especially. And then with the men, some of them actually have had that experience, but also are actually having a record of it. We found, oh yes, Tarkabe is another gang stalker. He is bad. Tariq Nasheed, he went and looked into Inky's children's windows. He drove all the way to look into Inky's children's homes. He has gone out to California to harass Tariq Nasheed and his family. So yes, he's got a record of lifetime SA abuse. So he's on the SO, offender. He's on that list in Maryland. So a lot of them, they use that sex because that's also projecting and is something that they've dealt with or that they've done. So yes,
you know who else who been through it is Kevin Wesley, and I feel so sorry for what he been
through. Yes. Well, let me tell you this, honey.
Him down, and he just had a new baby and everything. He can't even pay attention to his baby because he got so much going on with people trying to attack him. And
you know what happened? Gang stalker Neil X. That particular one is one very, very formidable because she's the strongest ones are the sickest ones. Neil X, I tried to help her get on the platform. Sonetter, she came up one time pretending. They always come in, like you said, like they want to be friends. And Sonetter's like, she's boring. But I was like, no, Sonetter, really, let's get her in there. Well, she's the one who, fast forward, she just started just targeting me. Everything was me. Sonetter didn't want her to do a debate. It was my fault. She was telling everybody going in on me, calling me a concubine, saying that I'm tearing down the HOK. That's the same thing they always say. The gang stalkers love to say Napa's tearing down the HOK while they're actually trying to tear down the HOK. So she went and saw me with Kevin on the platform or with the event that you did in Texas, in Dallas, and she's the one who saw it. And ever since then, her and Queen's Throne stalked that man relentlessly. I mean, he's never experienced. We spoke to Kevin several times, and my heart goes out to him. He's a wonderful person. His wife is a beautiful person. His wives, and he couldn't understand it. And we don't. You can't understand the level of sickness and hatred and destruction that they focus on you. And so yeah, Kevin is experiencing it from the same gang stalkers that we're experiencing it from. And so let me just get through this. It says leaders generally enlist. Okay, so it's wait. Who not only communicate with one another, talking about the gang stalkers, also pursue target in other areas by means of extensive contacts. Leaders, these are the gang stalker leaders, generally enlist the aid of other individuals in the gang by various methods, which typically include providing false information about the victims, the target individuals, manipulating potential members. So they'll find somebody new and be like, oh, I see that you are cool with Sonetter, but did you know that they also were doing this? They tried to do that with Kevin at first. When they first started looking at him, they didn't right away start slandering him. They tried to manipulate him against Sonetter. When that didn't work, they went full-fledged and said, okay, it's time to add him to our target. Employing those with similar criminal backgrounds. Oh, you saw that one? They employed those with similar criminal backgrounds. What are their similar criminal backgrounds? Violence. Neil X has a very extensive criminal background. Sister Nandy, very extensive criminal background. Queen's Throne, very extensive criminal background. And I don't want to hear, oh, so did Sonetter. A lot of people have broken the law, but they're no longer continuing in that behavior. But these people are, my friends and family, these people are continuing in that behavior. And another part of the criminal background, we already told you, a lot of them are SOs, offenders. You know, they're on the offender list or have been on the offender list. They have been accused. They've been accused by children. The law has arrested them, and they have gone to trial with children accusing them and women accusing them of SA. Okay, these are the people we're talking about. These are the people, the men and the women. They've been accused of very serious domestic violence, trying to strangle family members. That's on their records. Okay, victims may be from any gender or socioeconomic background. These persons may outperform other coworkers or have a set of standards that separate them from other people in the environment. I think this is who they target. The victims. Exactly. Let me get back to that. Here it is. So the people that are being targeted, like Sonetter, Genesis, Kevin Wesley, myself, Napashada, who else? Oh, when Kevin Samuels was alive. So the people who are targeted by these gang stalkers, this is what this article says. Victims, the targeted ones, may be from any gender or socioeconomic background. These persons, the targeted individuals, may outperform other coworkers or have a set of standards that separates them from other people in an environment. Gang stalking frequently uses practices meant to destroy the victim's qualities. You see? They want to destroy. Why? Just because they can't do what we're doing. People don't love them like they love us. They don't move the crowd like we move the crowd. And instead of saying, well, let me find my lane, they want to destroy. These acts might include blaming the target for a gang member's mistakes. Oh, when they're talking about they blame us, perfect example. Everybody's blaming Sonetter for what Chris Harris did wrong. You can't make this up. They blame the target, I'm going to use Sonetter as an example, for one of their gang stalking members' mistakes. Nobody told Chris Harris to leave that debate with Israel Doctrine. Nobody told Chris Harris to keep on allowing his audience to call Sonetter an AIDS victim and call me a whore. Nobody told him to do that. He had the responsibility, if he wanted to keep on doing business with Sonetter, he had the responsibility to stop that type of commenting in his chat. So they all get together now and they back Chris Harris up and say, yeah, it's Nepal. It's Sonetter. Sonetter, you're a weak man because your wife, she talks too much. Like right now, how I'm talking, they don't want me to tell the truth. So then they say, look, everybody hates Nepal, don't they? No, all of you gang stalkers hate me because I tell the truth about you. Your acts might include blaming the target for a gang stalker member's mistakes or taking credit for what the victim has accomplished. Again, Chris Harris, you're taking credit for your popularity when it's Sonetter who gave that to you. You can't make this up. In an effort to discredit a person or to add to the weaponry for the attack, gang stalkers may perpetuate the notion that the target is mentally impaired. You know how many times they've said that Napa's crazy on, they project onto me, Napa's sick, she doesn't like other women. It's them who are crazy, if you want to use that word. They're the ones who like to gang stalk. They're the ones who are mentally ill. I'm gonna let you have the mic because I want you to talk about how you were targeted by Jaguar. They say that the target is mentally impaired or dangerous in some manner, forcing the person to undergo an evaluation. Yeah, because I'm always under scrutiny. Like, oh, you know, the policies, they sit on the internet, they do drugs, they smoke weed, they get drunk. And then they're always talking about Nepal's on pills. We literally have them saying that they enjoy doing drugs. Okay, they admit that they love to smoke weed. They sit on Queen's throne, has often sat on the internet getting wasted to where she even cursed her own child out. I don't go and do live streams on it, but people have. I don't care. But then she'll turn around and be like, Napa. Even with me mentioning her who stalked me since 2020 and done videos on me, she will do a live stream. This is how sick they are. If you speak up against them, they're already doing live streams on you anyway. They'll do a live stream saying, look at her talking about me. It's a deep, deep sickness. I want you to jump in and comment. I know I said a lot, so I want to give you a chance to speak, especially how Jaguar Wright is being taken seriously with the accusations against you that she was doing. She may, and I know, I'm going to say before you speak, sometimes I'm going to tell you, Genesis, and I tell my husband this, sometimes your stalker will lay off and they'll have another interest and it'll give you a break. So you don't feel like, oh, I don't want to say anything about them because I know that's going to spark them up. But I found that you damned if you do and damned if you don't. They're going to talk about you anyway.
Yeah, you know, she haven't, what she's done is she attacks me in other ways, like, if I bring people to Street Stars, she'll attack them, you know? So it's almost like a weird thing. But yeah, I mean, she wants to be my enemy. I don't know why. I'm like, dude, I mean, listen, it happened. The situation between us happened. It's over. It's a year later. You know what I'm saying? But there's others, you know what I'm saying? There's other people that from that whole sector that really decided to make me into an enemy of theirs. And like I said, they would send people to me to like befriend me, to try to get more detailed information and then be reporting back and then be able to put that, you know, online. Because what it is that in their mind, they just want content. That's that weird word, that content thing, right? So this whole thing is that everybody wants to have content on YouTube, and they'll do it by any means necessary. If they got to drag you down to get that content, to make that money, to have something to talk about. Because a lot of times these people don't have enough talent to just create a show or create like anything other than talking about other people, you know. And then they'll say, oh, it's just content. Well, look, listen, my family, my daughter, my children are not content, you know?
Yes, thank you.
And we need to like know the difference between content and actual talent and being able to put together a show and really do commentary, you know? And for people that are watching that makes them feel like that they're really doing content, when in reality, they're not doing anything but just gossiping and all that other nonsense.
Not just gossiping, trying to destroy your life. So you said, that's beautiful. I'm glad you're here. You're adding so much good stuff. That's right. It's not content. And when you're tuning into that and you're watching that, then shame on you if you're not a sick person. And when I say sick, if you enjoy seeing people tear down people, whether you like it, you know, I don't like a lot of people. I'm not going to sit in a chat for even 30 seconds and listen to somebody talk about another person's life. And
hours, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours. Like,
yes.
How can you sit there? And at one point, you're just repeating yourself. You're just saying the same thing over and over again. Like, they're not bringing any new content, any new news. They will just and pretty much they'll bring you up, say a certain thing, and then just keep repeating the same thing over and over again to the new people that are coming into the chat room, and then like feed off the chat, which is more people that are like, yeah, you know, the hate gravy train. You know what I'm saying? And
yes.
to me, that's not talent. Like, to sit there and gossip for 12 hours a day is not talent. To me, talent is, okay, you know what? Why don't you bring me up with you and we have a conversation? And can you really like hold through for that conversation and not get upset and really work out whatever the problem is you have with me? Because they never do that. What they'll do is instead it'll become an argument. It'll become a thing to try to make you get upset, try to bring you out of character, and then say, see everybody, see.
That's a classic narcissistic gaslight move. Yes, you did it. You're hitting some great points. I do want to speak on a comment that I saw. Somebody said, well, a certain person put that tag on Nepal, not them. Okay, that tag was put on Sonnetter and me together. And it was very, very much of a lie, because what people don't seem to realize, or some people do know, Sonnetter has a platform that everyone comes through. Everyone. When you see people come through the HOK, it's not like somebody coming to my channel. Okay. And even then, I don't know what that person's doing in their personal life. If I find out about it, then I will work accordingly to keep that person away once I investigate if it's a slander or not. See, it's very, very detailed. But when someone says, well, they didn't put that on you, Napa, yes, they went with it. Remember, when something's put out into the gang stalker horde, they work to keep repeating it. This thing about me being a pass around, I've never been with anybody besides my husband on this internet. And I'm talking about in this community, on this internet. And they continue to this day, since 2020, to say I'm a whore and a pass around. And they added to it by violating me with one of the men who's calling me a pass around, who I had a long distance conversation relationship. We were together, but I'm saying it was on the phone. It wasn't touching. We never met. And we never did phone sex either, but that would have been my business. We never met. When I moved on away from him, he's right away, when he saw me on the HOK, he did a stream, and Chris Harris was there. He was cheering it on, laughing. He called me a whore. He said that I'm going to be having sex with all the men in the HOK. He said I'm going to be having sex. I'm going to be on the couch getting a train pulled on me just because I went onto the HOK to teach. Chris Harris was there, and as I said, laughing and cheering them on in the chat, because prior to that, I was in the debate league where Chris Harris was getting his behind whipped by me scholastically. So that's why he hated me. And while I was on there, they started the little mini gang stalking. It was Chris Harris, Lex Vortex. I'm finished. Blue, outside the blue, out the blue. But Blue was like always quiet, but he still was a part of the horde. So I'm not saying each one of them had their part. You understand what I'm saying? They all worked together. Nobody spoke up against it. They just didn't. Now, if you don't like that I said your name, Blue, I said your name because, number one, my sister Genesis knows you. And number two, you said you don't get involved in this kind of stuff, but I'm seeing you doing videos and making stuff up to enter yourself into this gang stalking. If you don't want to be labeled as a gang stalker, you need to distance yourself from the gang stalking. As of late, I said Lex, but I'm gonna be fair. I haven't seen Lex doing the gang stalking. I haven't. Damn, Judah Naz doesn't do the gang stalking. He, in fact,
I think he was mad because the fact that, I guess, that you were not friends. I guess Judah had at one point was gang stalking you at some point, and then you became friends back with him. So that's what.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a great point. So when I bring up Blue, it's like I never had an issue with Blue, but I'm seeing him say things about me and doing, like, inserting himself. I don't think he's that type of person. And I said Lex Vortex and SVDL, but Lex Vortex, I've seen him distance himself from the gang stalking. So these are the names I'm saying distance themselves completely. Just because you maybe were doing it before, or you didn't even know you were doing it before. If you said, like Judah said, I don't want to be a part of this. This is not right. And you say, I'm sorry. And you also build a friendship with Sonetter and me, then there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. There's a happy ending. But sadly, these people that are consistently doing it, the ones I named, Neil X, Queen's Throne, these are the main ones that come to mind right now. There's others. There's a few others, but those two are really very, very toxic. And these are the two that Chris Harris has recently joined with full-fledged. He made an oath. He professed publicly, I'm going to do everything I can to tear down the HOK. Chris, you're a gang stalker, brother. And I used to say, I don't like Chris Harris that much, but at least he doesn't do the gutter stuff. But now Chris Harris is in the gutter. He's gang stalking. So perhaps one day he will wake up and say, oh, I don't want to be a gang stalker. But all this stuff, pushing this lie, this rhetoric about, oh, Nepal, you're tearing down the HOK, and Sonetter built this community. And it's still flourishing. It's still flourishing. We're bringing people in to do information. We're even if you don't like what we say, Brother Reggie, Dr. Reggie, he hates my position. Well, I shouldn't say hates. I'm going to take that emotion out. He's starkly opposed to my position about the historicity of Jesus. So is Jabari. They don't come in and try to destroy our lives. They don't come in and say terrible, disparaging things about us and our families. That's the issue. The Watcher said, Saw should have never let those brothers back over once they showed who they really are. Exactly. Exactly, Watcher. But guess what? That's what I was saying about Genesis. Sonetter's I used to be like them. It don't take me long, though. I'll forgive, and if I see genuinely that a person's sorry, like for instance, Judah and his wife and the Torah Knights, they were like, this is wrong. We shouldn't have been doing that. Look, you said some stuff about us. That's why we started doing it, but we're done. And they have become great alliances, great associations. So Sonetta and Genesis not like,
excuse me, Nepal.
they're very generous. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not done. I gotta come on later on today and correct what Chris Harris have said. He lied.
Yes.
He lied. So I'm gonna correct him on the other channel. So be ready.
All right.
I gotta talk to him because he's just a straight up liar. And when the people finish looking at this guy, they're gonna see he is not a real man. He has so much women in him. He got so much femininity in him. This boy does not look at him as a man. I have absolutely no respect for him. So I'm gonna do this today, and then I'm gonna try to move on and go back to some teaching before I strike him again, before I hit him again. So I gotta talk to this punk. And
speaking of strikes,
we're gonna see.
How come we can't like really strike these people? Because I tried to strike the person. She said all type of wild things about my kids, and I tried to do a like report and strike and this and the other. And you know what YouTube said? YouTube was like, "Oh well, it doesn't like there's anything wrong." I'm like, "Really?"
Oh wow, that's what they do with us all the
That's
time.
why they feel like that you could like continue to like say that because they're not getting any punishment for it.
Yes, and that's a childish way of thinking, because you're supposed to be autonomous and you're supposed to be this powerful person who, I govern myself. I don't need the Bible. I don't need rules. I don't need to follow anything. So you're supposed to be able, as a Black person in this community, Chris Harris, you're supposed to be able to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to act like this. But no.
And since when can you bring in kids and talk about people's kids, and then YouTube is just like, oh well, like it's freedom of speech. But then we have to curb our speak, right? When we're talking about stuff, we have to say, oh, murdered and blurted and blah 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 and raped and blaped and blah blah, and make up words to get around the algorithm. But then they say everything about our children, and it's not no big deal.
Let me address this comment right here. Divine Allah. Divine Allah said, Nepal, you should teach Black women to stop trying to be white, dyeing their hair blonde. You know, I used to think ignorant like that at one time. I used to be bugging out and saying that. But in all reality, it's just a style. They are not trying to be white. I've met so many sisters that will wear blonde wigs, red wigs, and they Black as can be. They blacker than Chris. You see what I'm saying? And they got that knowledge and information. It's just a style for them. That's all. So not everybody that wears a blonde wig or color their hair or dye it is white, man. And we got to stop assuming that and thinking that, because now you're throwing all of them under the bus. When you go into Egypt, that's all they wore was wigs, but they was Black as can be. You see? So we got to stop the foolishness. Nepal, she be having some beautiful, nice pieces, you know, and she ain't trying to be no white girl. She's who she is.
Why you think don't use me? Don't use me.
No, they're gonna say what's up, you know what I'm saying? So
I know they're gonna say you're just biased. But I think, thank you, Sonetta, for coming in as a man and saying that. I think that's awesome. But Dazali agrees with you. He says exactly, it's just a style. But Divine Allah, I think this person was trying to be sincere, but I like that you gave that brother that advice. Maybe he'll
Hey, hold up. My man, how you pronounce his name again? DZ?
That's Dazali.
All right. Hey, yo, my brother, peace to you, Dazali. Now, put that comment back up.
Yeah, Dazali.
I need you to look at that comment. Everybody look at that comment. Watch what I showed today. Why would men be worried about women's style? Remember that right there, that he said that. Because I'm going to show you how this dude is so effeminate. Watch how he's worried about the jeans and the style that Nepal got on. This is crazy. I couldn't.
Oh, you didn't like my jeans? Those are cute.
Yeah, but watch what he say about your jeans, man. And it's supposed to be a goddamn man.
What?
So,
my jeans were cute during my interview with Real Life Street Stars.
And plus, like Black people, when they get their hair done, they don't be doing it in the white hairdo.
Nepal, those are the ones I bought, right?
Probably. You buy most of my clothes.
I think those are the ones I bought. But watch how this dude talk about your jeans. What man does that, y'all? It's crazy as hell. Crazy. Well, we're gonna see. Go ahead, Nepal.
He really feeling the paw, and he mad because he can't get at her, and so therefore he wants to like be mad and just, instead of like just realize, hey, you know what I'm saying? Go with
I don't know. See, that's the point. Thank you for the love, Genesis. But you know what? That's the point about gang stalking. You never know where it's coming from inside of them. Like you sit back and say, why? Like you just sit there and go, why? Sonetta and I have had so many conversations over the years. We do this this very cathartic and very healing type of fantasy that we do. I'm going to share this with everybody. This is something we privately talk about. But there's Whitney. Sonetta and I will talk about how we want to have these people taken to another island, or we'll just do like and it makes us laugh. Like we're like, what if they were trapped in a labyrinth? I'm not going to get into the details.
Yeah, don't do it up here in Nepal because they might say that's hate. So don't.
No, I know. I'm not going to say the things, but you can do that for therapy. With if like Genesis, you could sit with me, and I think we maybe have done some jokes like that before with certain things, talking about the people. Basically, to get together with somebody and talk about the gang stalkers, and do it in a way where you're not on the internet feeding into them. You can point out, like what Sonia is going to do in a minute, the things that they do. That's not wrong. You're supposed to expose them, but you don't want to fall into, well, that's why your hair is this way, because I almost slipped into that a couple of times, and I try not to. But yeah, Genesis is showing the sisters with the colored hair. There's Pat.
I ain't never seen no white woman wear her hair like that. So she might have blonde hair, but it don't mean that she wearing it in a white hairdo. That's a totally black hairstyle. So when we might wear a blonde wig, whatever, we're gonna have it looking like sharp. It ain't gonna be like looking like what's in Mia Farrow. We might put the baby hairs down. We might have it a curly wig, blonde. So what difference do it make if it's blonde or whatever color? You know what? We might say, you know what, this blonde make my skin pop. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, it does look cute. I mean, Whitney's gorgeous. And remember the bob? Oh my God, I wore a bob. I had a bob. Oh, I loved the bob.
Like asymmetrical. Come on now. People was wearing blonde hair for a long time. And that does not mean that you're trying to be Caucasian. It just means that, hey, I like a little color pop.
I think I want to do the bob again. Excuse me, I want to read this comment. You shouldn't wish badness on other people because it will come back to you twofold. No, that is not true, Mr. Candor. It's not wishing badness on someone. If you sit and you tell, it's a type of therapy. If somebody has tried, you haven't experienced gang stalking, my friend. If someone has tried to tear you down, tried to harm you and your children, and they've worked night and day to do that, they want to see you destroyed. Like they actually celebrated when Kevin Samuels had a heart attack and passed away. Yeah. Okay. So no, nothing's going to come back to us twofold when we sit and say, if it's justified, it's justified. Yes. And it's not toxic anyway. When we do it, we're laughing. We make jokes like, I'm going to say one. Okay, no, I won't, because that's Sunday said Jones, so I'm going to listen to him. But we'll say funny things like the things that happen to cartoon characters, like on Wile E. Coyote. I'll be like, dang, I wish instead of Wile E. Coyote, I wish that was so-and-so with that anvil falling. It's just funny. And Genesis is a comedian. Like I'd say I'm a comedian in my own right, not a professional, but it's fun to laugh about stuff. You don't really want to see an anvil drop out of the sky on somebody, but they want to see that happen to us. I want to read this other article. I don't know if I'm screen sharing. Let me try again. So I'm glad you showed those pictures because you took me back to, I loved.
Well, what are they setting themselves up for when they're talking mess about our kids? Oh, you're setting yourself for a bad omen. No, she's not, because the bad omen was the person that actually started the mess to begin with. Return to sender, people. Return
to sender. Yes, and we're not even doing what they do. But I get it when you haven't experienced it, like Mr. Candor. I'm not mad at Mr. Candor. I mean, you get a little bit like, how dare you tell me that I'm going to get it back? But Mr. Candor has an experience, and I hope Mr. Candor never does. I really don't wish this on anyone who hasn't done it. Y'all thought I was going to say my worst enemy. Nope.
What bad omen are the people that are actually going out here calling CPS, coming to your house, videotaping your mom, your grandma, whatever, looking through windows. So what bad omen are they getting?
Don't forget changing your image and making you sending your naked pictures out to everybody, selling them for $3. That's the stuff they do. Yeah, they think it's funny. So anyway, Genesis, I'm gonna read this right here, and then I'm gonna give some information that you can, if you're being gang stalked, you can reach out to different resources, and then because Sonnetta's getting ready to do a stream. I did want to play. Oh, here's some gaslighting that I want to play. I want you to hear Mr. Harris say something about me when peace, Latoya. She says, let me read what Latoya said. Latoya said, when we get the fatherless home rate down to 0%, then and only then can we discuss weave colors. Oh, she came in, shots fired. Shots fired. You know what, y'all? We don't want to turn it.
So the people that are being evil can be evil our way, but when we have to have all the candor in the world and not even say nothing back. Don't joke about them. Don't say, whatever. We just gotta take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you mean things don't work that way?
Yeah.
Things do exactly work that way.
She's telling you from experience.
That's why they have a term called fight fire with fire.
Yeah, Mr. Candor, she's speaking from an experience that is painful. I do want to, I got to get to these articles and talk about that there are serious psychological stresses on not only the targeted individuals, but their loved ones around them. And so people want to talk about my marriage with Sonetter. We have gone through hell from these people. So I doubt that many, I hope so, but I doubt that many relationships could last through the things that we've been through. People trying to pit us against each other. You know, that's where all of it stems from. We get upset with each other. Then they say, oh, she don't listen to you. She don't respect you. And then they whisper in my ear, oh, you know, why are you letting a man mistreat you? He doesn't love you. He never did. So yeah, this gang stalking, they try to destroy everything. I want you to hear this man gaslight and say that I'm going around, Nepal Shada, you put my name into the internet, into YouTube, 100 videos of me being attacked and lied on and scrutinized and talked about in a negative way by these gang stalkers who try to influence the weak-minded people. You'll put my name in, that's what you'll see. You won't find any videos of me spreading rumors on people. You did say you're going to hit me upside the head and drag me into a cave and grape me on SVDL on a public panel when I was beating you up with the Bible, Chris. And Lex Vortex was up there and everybody else was listening. And then even the man who will never admit it, because he's a complete liar, he told you to apologize to me. And I'm going to keep looking for the recording, Mr. Harris, because I recorded you when you apologized to me on the phone and said, when I said, I don't think you're sincere, because by that time I already didn't like you because you were harassing me anyway. So I sure did turn on my recorder because I was instructed to by Solar Mind. And I'm going through the thousands. I have like 20,000 different images and recordings in my phone. I'm going to find that recording, Chris, where when you said you were sorry, and I'm going to play it. I just want to let you know. My husband knows.
You need to play that to the judge and go on ahead and go to the courthouse and say, okay, listen, because you know what? These people need to like really realize that there's laws against stalking.
Bingo. I already have a case against Solar, and we're working on his girlfriend who went and paid somebody to go over to my mom's, and they actually tried my mom's door and looked in the window. She's elderly. She was so distraught that she had used her great call. She had to, the ambulance came, the first responders, the police and the ambulance. My mom could have had a heart attack. That's you, Angel Food. You did that. And the Ring Cam has already identified who these people are. It's a matter of getting in touch with them, and then them letting us know and confirming that it's you. You're in trouble. That's why you haven't been on this internet. You're smarter than I thought you were. And I'm saying this because I have the right to say it. You're a gang stalker as well, but you're not a smart gang stalker, because if you were, you would have never, ever paid somebody to come over to my mother's home.
We also need to separate stalking from gang stalking, because gang stalking is a group of people, but when a person's an individual, that's just straight up, flat out stalking.
Oh yeah, definitely. Good point. You bring up such great points. You're so sharp. I'm so glad you're up here. I want to play Chris Harris, gaslighting. Gaslighting is when you lie and you say something is a certain way that it isn't, but really you're the one doing all the things that are bad. And it's going to be in this article as well. Chris is going to gaslight and lie and say, tell Sonetter, stop your wife from spreading rumors. That's what you guys do to us. Let's listen.
Tell your wife to stop spreading gossip and lies on everybody. Tell her the source.
Did you hear that? Now, everybody knows that I don't spread gossip and lies on everybody. But you're spreading gossip and lies on me, Chris, with Neo X and Queen's Throne and Solar Mind and Angel Food and all the other gang stalkers in the chat, who are probably you, those accounts. Everything comes to the light. So shout out to the darkest minds, meaning the deep thinkers of the light, those who can stand. I'll stand before everything. Anything I've said is true. Now, there are things that I've said that were wrong. I apologize to Sister Kana when I was talking about her because I was being attacked. I was going back and forth with Judah. That's something I said I should have never said. And if there's something else that I don't remember that I said against a sister or an individual, I have no problem apologizing because I have to cleanse my soul. But they want to keep stuff in. They want to hold on and lie and just lie. No, I did not lie on you, Neo. You know, Nandy said I lied on her, and then it all came out that it was true. Nandy said I lied on her when she told me about, well, first off, Sonetter, I told my husband, and she kept on stalking us for years, saying that I'm being kept in a cage, that I have, I'm the wife of a Mormon, and that we are pedos. She said that I have the disease, that, all this stuff. So finally, Sonetter said, how come you keep talking about Nepal calling her a whore, but you don't even have a womb? Nandy told me, and no, I was not her doula or her healthcare professional. So all this stuff about Nepal told her she wasn't my client. She was a sister who came to me and said, I had cancer in my womb and all this part of my body, and I had to have it removed. I started sending her things to help her with her cancer. I sent her money. I helped her talk to her people at her shelter because of her mental illness, and this isn't a diss, it's sad, but because of her mental illness, she's often homeless. So 4 years ago, this came out because she wouldn't leave me alone. She just kept on going at me because she was mad that Sonetta married me. That was her problem, which is sick. So Sonetta finally came out and said, oh, Nandy, you don't even have a womb because you told Nepal you had cancer in that. And then I said, Nandy was in the homeless shelter and I was helping her because she wanted to put up her altar to her. She does voodoo and they wouldn't let her. So I had to talk to the shelter and say that they were infringing upon her religious preference. Then she was sleeping in a church. It was sad. It wasn't something like a diss, but Nandy was going on and on and on, lying on me night and day for years before I did that. Why am I saying this? Because they say, oh, Nepal's a liar. Everybody knows she's a liar. Well, lo and behold, Nandy came out recently again. She's like, I'm homeless. There's a bunch of people trying to kill me. And it's basically showing that's her issue. She is
can we just address the mental illness that's going on here? You know?
Yeah, we are. But I want to wrap this up.
They have that kind of a stalking mentality, do have some form of mental illness because they can become hyper fixated on somebody. And that's mental illness, to hyper fixate on something or somebody to the point where you are, just completely like focused on everything about them and you can't get your mind off them. That's a weird hyper focus, and we need to address that. Like, that's mental illness.
That's right.
I'm not sure which one, maybe ADHD or something like that. I don't know, but
no, it's beyond ADHD. It's like obsessive compulsive disorder in that sense. But I did want to wrap it up. My point was with Nandy and with Neo X. You lied. You did tell me that information. I don't lie on people like that. Okay, and the truth will come out. I don't have to say. She says, "Oh, you lied. I never told you about this." And yes, you did. And the only reason I brought it out is because you stalked me for years, lying on me, lying on my husband. You changed your channel name saying, where is Nikki? Sonetta never slept with that woman. And the woman came up and said it. And Genesis, when the woman said it on video recording, they're going to say, oh, Sonetta changed that. He doctored it. And then guess who? The deep fake expert comes out. Uncle Suge and Queen's Throne. Oh, I do this kind of editing all the time. I know you do. That's why when you look at that video of me, that Angel Food paid people, we're going to prove it. And Angel Food, you can't stand up in a court of law and say that I'm slandering you because we have the recording of you saying absolutely everything to the T, what's in the video on a panel before the video came out. Y'all aren't as smart as you think you are. So I digress. Let me get to this article right now.
Real quick, I want to address Mr. Candor. So, all right, it says Nepal is a perfect example of what happens when you adopt a like-for-like attitude. What does that mean? At Genesis, unfortunately, Nepal receives a lot of slander from multiple people online, and no one defends her outside SA. So, does that mean that she's not to be defended? That she does not deserve to be defended? Does that mean that okay.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna give it back to you, but that's a lie. That's gaslighting, everyone. I'm so glad he said that. Unfortunately, Nepal receives a lot of slander from multiple people. He just admit that I get slander. We're gonna take this apart with a fine-tooth comb. He admits that I get slandered. That means he admits that people lie on me and attack me viciously and try to tear me down. And no one defends her outside of SA. Maybe now that I read it, see, I'm glad I took this look. Maybe he's sympathizing, right? Maybe he's sympathizing.
Well,
maybe
he said that he said that you can't fight fire with fire. He said our woes are to carry. It cannot be shared. So, but the bottom line is it doesn't mean that you just got to lay down and take it either. You know
right. I don't think this person is our enemy. I think he's just giving his opinion. Like I said, Genesis.
I don't think so either, but I'm just like, you don't have to lay down and just take someone attacking you and just keep laying down. Like at some point you have to stand up.
Right.
Like, I mean, first of all, like, I'm sorry. I practice a whole different spirituality and that is not in our nature to just let someone continue to slander and you just keep laying down. You know what I'm saying? That's not turn the other cheek don't exist in my religion.
Yeah, it says, son of man, thank you for, and you know what, that's why I'm doing this video. We've tried that. These aren't normal people. These aren't people like Mr. Candor or Latoya Ma'at or anybody that just says, okay, usually say just ignore it, but you can't. These are very toxic people who will not stop until they see that you're not breathing. That's what they want. I think somebody said, whenever I type in Pashada on YouTube search bar, all these horrible videos will pop up before I can get to her channel. Thank you. And That's sad because this is a part of the gang stalking tactic. They want that because when I first came in, I was just this woman, a Hebrew Israelite woman who teaches. You know, I was well liked by women and men. You know, maybe they didn't agree with me on the polygyny, but the women, they started saying, okay, well, I like her. You know, nothing's wrong with her for the most part. But there was Queen's Throne and Nandy, those two. Those were and Tamika One isn't a content creator. She just is she cheerleaders in the chat with the hatred. She enjoys the hatred.
Why do you think there's like so much hatred toward polygyny?
Well, we got to do a show on that, girl. I can't even go into that.
Because
I don't
even
wanna...
with the whole lot thing we did, Meeting of the Minds, there was like, you know, one person that stood up like, I blame your mother. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's a matter of, I think that the general population, because of their ideals with the Christian ideals and things like that, they don't really like it at all. You know what I'm saying? Right. They think it's wrong, and they think that the man is like wanting to be greedy. They think the women are desperate, and so I think that kind of like maybe plays into a lot of like the reason why people want to attack the women that are in that situation. Right.
And we need to do a separate show on that. I just please, I know you'd be trying to contact me and I'm like, oh God, I got to call Genesis. So let's do a show on that. And let's bring up a panel. Maybe Kevin will join. He's a polygynist. Sonnetter typically doesn't like to get into talking on panels about polygyny, but we can bring people of different relationships, monogamy and polygyny. It would be nice to have had a same-sex person who isn't toxic in the community who could come up and represent. But right now we only have toxic people who are gang stalking and trying to attack me. So, but we got to do a panel on that. If I can, I just want to read this because I think gaslighting is in here.
I'm sorry, I know you want to read this article, but hold on. So he's saying just ignore them. This is what Mr. Cantor's saying. Well, you can't ignore a person that is coming to your house, knocking on your door, taking pictures at your house. That is where the line gets crossed. If it was only online, I think we could ignore it, right? We could just not watch it.
You can't even ignore it online either.
Because it'll become a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll like dominate the whole online thing and change people's opinion of you.
Right. That's what they've done. We ignored it. We ignored it for so long, and I got people like Nepal's a liar. What? Show me where I've lied on these people. I'm waiting, and not some doctored video.
And when you have a platform and you're trying to, this is your way of living. This is your bread and butter, and they're like dissing you. You're losing subscribers because these people are saying this. This is a business thing that actually really like from a business standpoint.
They like that.
Should be addressed in that way.
Well, they love that, but see, not just that. Not just that. There's more, but this is why we appeal to the people like Mr. Candor, who you're speaking to. And Mr. Candor, it's not like a debate. She understands because she's experienced it, my friend. And it's time for us to do what we're doing. And Sonnetter has done so much for this community. We will not allow. That's the last straw. A person like Chris Harris, who touts himself as a teacher and as a community member, he's trying to say, I won't let you do this to this community. Sonnetter created this community, okay? Make no mistake. If you're talking about the consciousness community, that House of Consciousness is his title, he created this community and he doesn't do anything besides build people up. And then they turn on him. Jealousy, it's all because you're an intricate part of HOK now. Thank you, my sister. Lovejoy, thank you so much. When I see sister, especially when you see the women coming and making sense, like Latoya and Lovejoy, and there was another sister earlier. It's great to see people who see it. That's why we got to keep telling the truth. I want to read this article, but there was one thing about Gangstalking. I guess it's not in here. Let me quickly read this. About gaslighting. The average Gangstalking, this is on empower.com. Gangstalking, psychological targeting in a group setting. The average functioning individual does not have a lot to be logically paranoid about. Sure, there's the occasional whisper that you overhear and think it's about yourself. There's also the fear that someone is following you. Then there's gangstalking. This is the ultimate form of paranoia that turns out to be a well-founded suspicion and mistrust. Gangstalking is when a group of people decide to target an individual and attempt to control aspects of that individual's life and monitors them 24/7. Generally, this is done without the person actually knowing about this organized stalking group, but not always. But if a person does find out, the results and helplessness can be devastating. According to gangstalkingworld.com, quote, gangstalking is experienced as a covert psychological, emotional, and physical attack that is capable of immobilizing and destroying a target over time. What they do online, though, is not covert. I just want to point that out. It sounds sick. Wait, sound sick yet? It gets
where it gets covert is that they could be psychologically influencing their audience to do stuff against you.
Bingo.
Because what they're doing is they're creating like a whole like persona within their audience, and then you never know where the attack is coming from. So that's where the covert aspect comes from it, because
you're right.
You can be getting attacked, but you don't even know if it's the person that's saying it or the audience member that listened to that person badmouth you.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. Thank you. You made a great point. I retract my statement. It is covert. You're right, because it's a psyop on the actual audience. Because I have people like, I see this woman named Texas Bomb. I don't even know this woman. She's like, she's such a whore. She wants to, oh, is this her lying again? It's like, I actually brought her up onto my panel once and talked to her. So yeah, she's been completely converted and convinced. Brainwashed. Yep. They're very weak. So I want to read this part right here. It says, does it sound sick yet? Well, it gets worse. Targets, that's people who are being targeted by these gang stalkers, are chosen for many reasons. Genesis, listen to this, including dissenting opinions in politics and workplace. See, I don't have a popular opinion. I speak my voice about certain things. It stirs people the wrong way or rubs them the wrong way. Boom, time to gang stalk. The overall goal is to break the target down, from making them just look crazy for suspecting gang stalking, to isolating them, to ruining their reputation and credibility. Angel Food said on the internet one day, after she blatantly lied on me and said that I was lying on a man who, from his own mouth, said a little girl said that I tried to SA her. That's what grape is, by the way, duh. A little girl said I grabbed her by the buttocks and I grinded my private parts on her and she broke away. That's him SAing. The little girl said he SA'd her. I showed him saying that out of his mouth. Angel Food got on the internet and lied right out of her mouth and said, quote, ready for the gang stalk activation and the gaslighting? She said, everybody knows. When you hear them say everybody knows, you know that they're part of the horde. Everybody knows you're a liar. That's a call. That's a cyberbullying, and that's a gang stalking line, and that's gaslighting. She said, everybody knows you're lying. So let me read that again. Stalking to isolate them, to ruin their reputation and credibility, to forcing them to commit suicide. A lot of people have taken their unalive themselves over this kind of stuff. We're very strong people, Sonetter, myself, Genesis, and anyone else who's being gang stalked. But it does affect your health. Be careful with the stress. It can really, I speculate sometimes. I'm like, I wonder if Kevin actually, the stress from him being stalked on the internet affect his heart. So people might participate in gang stalking without knowing these horrible consequences. Texas Obama and all you other people sitting in the chat enjoying it. They might gang stalk to be accepted into a group. The people in the chat want to be a part of somehow a part of the panel. So they enjoy, oh, let's gang stalk Napas Shada and Sonetter. Be a part of the group or be forced into gang stalking. The way the website gangstalkingworld.com talks about gang stalking, it seems to be more of a government issue, and organized government bodies in European countries like Germany and Russia. I've thought in my mind a lot of times, are these people doing this because are they working? Is it COINTELPRO because Sonetter's position, because who he's actually been working with, Dr. Khalid Muhammad? Is that what happens? And Sonetter works with all the Black Power movements, all the Black Power groups. He empowers Black people. Be one. I did think that a lot. Like a lot of these people, all skin folk aren't kinfolk. I know that when we did investigate some of these people, Tanisha, NeoX, you're on the federal watch list. You're on the FBI watch list. Now, if you're on the FBI watch list, you could also be an informant who's working with the FBI to keep your freedom. Now, people can laugh all they want, but this is real. Most of these people who are gang stalking us, a large percentage, I should say, especially the ones who work night and day, Queen's Throne, NeoX, they have very, very serious criminal backgrounds. Who's to say that they didn't get caught doing a crime? I'm speculating. And the crime could have ended them up in jail for a long time. And they took a plea deal and said, okay, I will go online and I'll attack your target. Who do you need for me to break down? Oh, Sonetter, HOK, you mean the foremost Black Power platform for saying B1 and the hub of all Black information, all Black voice. Oh, that doesn't sound like a stretch, does it? And I'm not being a conspiracy theorist. I'm telling you, we have history with with the government attacking certain organizations like HOK. And we also have history of our own people being activated by the government for plea deals, because they don't want to go to jail, to get in here and tear things down. And that's what we see right here. It says, it seems to be more a government issue when they read the gangstalkingworld.com, and you can go to that website. It says organized government bodies in European countries like Germany and Russia. The closest thing to happen in the US, according to the website, would be certain scenarios and events like McCarthyism. Well, McCarthyism was when they were like calling everybody a communist, and they were just tearing down people's lives and their businesses back in the, I want to say 50s. It's hard to believe that gang stalking, maybe it was the 40s, 50s, 40s or 50s. It's hard to believe gang stalking could ever be fully successful in turning all friends and family against an individual. They're trying to turn Sonetta against me. They keep on telling Sonetta, she's tearing your platform down. She's tearing your platform down. It's your wife's fault that we're beefing. It's your wife's fault that we're beefing. She drove everybody away. I didn't drive anybody away. Sonetta got sick of the people. He's not a fool. He got sick of those people. And he told them to leave. I didn't have any power over that. I don't tell people when to leave or when to go, but I bet you I tell my husband, you see that guy over there? Look what he's doing. And he says, okay. He doesn't say, oh, I'm gonna get rid of him. Most of the time he'd be like, Nepal, just don't worry about it. Just leave it alone. I got this under control. That's what Sonetta does. But they want to paint it as he's some puppet simp. And I don't even like that word simp. He's some puppet that, what you want me to do today, Nepal? You want me to kick everybody out the HOK? No, it doesn't work that way. Sonetta sees what they're doing. You think he's dumb? Chris, you think he couldn't see that you didn't like him? You were useful. That's why he used you. And you got something back. When I say he used you, he utilized you on his platform as a speaker. Not he used you and exploited you. Because you gained by being around Sonetta. So all this stuff, I'm just going to close out this sentence. All this stuff, when you say it says turning all friends and family against an individual, that's what they work to do. Go ahead, Genesis.
So Mr. Candor is saying that gang stalking is not a real word. It's not a real thing. It's more for people that have delusions of the government kind of following after them, this, that, the other. Now, maybe this is not, maybe the gang stalking thing is not the correct, maybe they have not came up with the correct thing for when it comes from the internet. And it's a group of people that are like going to your house and this, that, the other. Maybe there's another word for that, but there's no other word at the moment. So she's utilizing the word gang stalking right now, because they have not came out with the word internet stalking or, bullying or whatever it is. Like, I mean, it's way beyond just bullying though.
Yeah, no, it's the word
way past bullying. It's when someone comes to your house and takes a picture of your mom and does this and pretend like, if Mr. Candor's aware of what happened, can you show the video of them pretending like this is your mom and like that you're?
Oh yeah, where they do the deepfake thing. I can find it. Yeah, I mean, I have it, but I do want to say this. Prince Asiel, rest in power to Prince Asiel.
No care was given. No F's were given. So to me, like, we can like try to have all the candor in the world, but when it really comes down to it, is that this is a dangerous situation, because you never know who's watching this that are getting like a battery into their back that might say, you know what, I agree, we need to take down HOK. Next thing you know, they do something crazy. So my thing is that we have to have some responsibility about how we what we do online. I'm not sure if these people are monetized or not. They might not be. They might be. I don't know. But it's a point where just the content of it all goes past content and becomes a stalking incident. It becomes illegal. It's an issue. It's not something to be played with. And I don't agree with anyone taking pictures of somebody's mother or their mother's house or, their door or their front door. That's where it crosses the line. And as much as everybody want to say, it's this, it's just it's not this, it's not that. Well, guess what? Put yourself in someone's shoes, right? When you have a person saying, "Oh, you still doing this in the backyard?" Having people ride by your house, doing like a GPS showing where you live, type of stuff. That's the type of things that people would do. They'll have a GPS. Oh, aren't you right here? And then show the neighborhood where you live at. And that's a very dangerous situation, because you never know. I'm a single mother. I might be sitting up here only with my daughter, don't have like no protection, and then boom, a person that's crazy can come over here and do something crazy to me and my children. So people don't understand this online thing. And TikTok is even worse than YouTube. YouTube is like, YouTube is child's play compared to TikTok. It gets really, really crazy and salacious when you involve these like social media platforms with this type of thing. So that's what I want.
Thank you for saying that. I found, I wanted to just read all these articles, but I got the articles up here. I'm just gonna let this guy play. I'm gonna have to speed it up though, because he's part of the horde. They can use our videos and our pictures and play with our pictures all they want. That's the article that I'm reading. I dropped the link if anyone wants to go watch that, look at that video. Not that video, read that article. And here's another one. about online sexual essay. I put that in there because people are doing deep fake on people. First, right now they did the deep fake of me. That is not me. But if it was, I'll say, yeah, that's me. That was not me. The way they made me look. And it was all because this one woman is so jealous. Like, she wants to be the only pretty woman in the whole universe. She's mad because people call me pretty, Genesis. And because her nigga, excuse my language, used to be in a relationship with me and I left him. And that bothers her. Like, she needs to keep telling people, oh, she's ugly. She's ugly. Oh, she really doesn't look pretty. She's fake. So this is the woman I said that paid the private investigators to come and follow me. But then when she followed me, they saw, oh, well, she looks like she looks. She hands it over for them to do a deep fake on me. I digress. I went into talking about that, but I want you to hear. Oh, I said that because of the link I dropped. The links are about deep fake. If people are doing deep fake AI abuse on you, revenge porn, deep fake eyes, porn on you, you can look at that website. So I left that for you, but I want you to hear this guy. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Then Sonetter's probably gonna do his show on this guy. I want you to hear him go in about how he doesn't want anything to do. After he said that Sonetter gave him his break, he would be nothing without Sonetter. He eats off Sonetter. He's a liar, number one. He said Sonetter slandered him. Sonetter didn't say one lie about this man. He just played his voice. He played that man's voice because that man was talking about me for almost 4 hours. And all I said about him is that he panders to people. He panders to people to get what he wants. Everybody knows that about Chris Harris. Everyone. And I don't care what those people over there say about me. They're part of the horde. But I want you to hear him talking about how he wants to do everything in his power. He's the linchpin. Linchpin is, you pull it out the, come on, y'all, out the grenade and it explodes. So he's saying he's going to be the one to spark all of the canceling and hatred toward the HOK. You see how Sonetter has to go through the cycles of these people who say, oh, we love Black people. We love Black power. The people that he actually puts food on their table, puts money in their pocket, puts their name out there and gets them respected. These are the same people who tear him down or try to. And then what do? Remember what it said about gangstalking? They want to separate them from their families and their support. That's me. Oh, Napa, we saw her argue with you online. So you guys are the bad. She's the bad guy. She's the reason everybody left the HOK. I want to give myself a hand. All the people you named needed to be far away from Sonetter because they have been using him for years and never, ever supporting him. Just keep on eating off of him like he's a buffet, like you were trying to do, Chris Harris. Okay, let's listen to what he says.
I don't want anything to do with any of them, but I will be the linchpin to spark a flame in everyone to stop watching your channel. I'm going to try everything in my power to have you held to a certain level of accountability. And until
you heard that, I have to speed it up because I don't want him to flag this. He said he's going to be the one to stop people from going to the HOK. Really? Why? Why don't you want Black people to go to the HOK? Because you're not going to be there? Because you're now a gang stalker. Let's hear that again.
I did not degrade myself and start insulting him. Because what would I be proving today or proving yesterday? And I went live and everybody said, look at what you're doing right here. It's all showing decorum, which you two lack. So we're going to put together a lot of things over here. And this will be my last time addressing it. Here, let me break this down. HOK. I want nothing to do with your name, brand, image, or likeness. I want nothing to do with any of your videos, your lessons, or the constituents on your channel. I want nothing to do with you anymore, Sonetter. I want anything to do with your wife. I want anything to do with your dog by the name of Nazareth. I want anything to do with any of them. But I will be the linchpin to spark a flame in everyone to stop watching your channel. I'm going to try everything in my power to have you held to a certain level of accountability. And until you do that, you are canceled over here. Your videos get no replay time, nor does any other scholarship over here get no replay time. Free debates coming soon.
He said that he's not.
309 people live here, and they haven't heard me call you out your name one time.
This guy is really sick. As you heard, he said he's going to do everything in his power to cancel the HOK. And debates are coming soon to his channel. News flash, everyone. This isn't anything that shocked Sonetter because Chris Harris has been trying to tear down the HOK in the shadows. He told, according to Cube, outside the Cube, he said, we're going to go take over. The minute he got over there, he said, we're taking over. He was doing streams talking about, let me show you how to really do debates. There's people out here who don't know what they're doing. He was bashing Sonetter. You saw the video that Sonetter did when he said, I saw you putting me down, talking about you're going to start your own debate league. So that's nothing new. I just wanted you to hear. He said he's going to tear the HOK down after he begged to be on the HOK. Exactly. But you want to know the cold part? That's funny you said that, Marquise. Because check this out. After he said that, let's get to the end of this. Watch him say, and maybe we'll come back and teach. No, you ain't coming back. Sonetter's not stupid. You're not coming back. There are so many talented people. We have Genesis coming in to do a debate. You know how many thousands and tens of thousands of teachers and scholars are out there that want to be on the HOK and can be on the HOK and who respect Sonnetter? And that goes for Judah Naz. He respects Sonnetter. He doesn't do what he was doing before because there was you know why? People were misled. He was misled. And now he knows the truth. Elder Yara. They did stand the ground saying, we don't like what you say about the Bible. And Sonnetter said, you know what? I respect that. He's a reasonable man. He's very reasonable and he's very just. He said, I agree. I will not do that anymore. I will not say those disrespectful, horrible things about your God that you worship. That's how things should be. But these people who are part of the horror Genesis, you don't believe in the Bible, but you don't go around saying, F your God. You get up there and you teach. Say, this is how I think it is. And I want to compare it to your particular spiritual belief. And then let's have a discussion. That's what we do on the HOK. But Chris Harris, he's the type, he'll say, F your God, and F your forefathers and his whore wives. No, we don't do that on the HOK. So there's many people who want to be on the HOK who are respectful and they respect others' beliefs. That doesn't mean that they sit back and don't critique the people's beliefs. That's why Sonnetter says, he says, Elder Yara, Judah, Toranites, Napa, I'm going to critique the Bible. I'll speak on it and I'll critique it, but I'll never disrespect your God again. And that's what we do in the HOK. Chris Harris, you don't belong there because you disrespect people's beliefs. You don't have to believe in it. You don't have to sugarcoat it. Dr. Reggie doesn't sugarcoat it. Jabari doesn't sugarcoat it. Genesis is over here teaching. She's not sugarcoating it. She's going to have a debate about it. But Chris, you don't belong there because you don't know how to respect people's, you don't know how to respect boundaries. Let me let you hear Marquise. After he said all that, I'm going to tear down the HOK. Let's listen to the end where he says, maybe we'll come back. You ain't coming back. Hold on. Let me get it. Okay. But go ahead, Jason. I'm going to let you talk while I cue it up. Or maybe not.
So with that being said, any of them.
I'm gonna let this play.
I will be the linchpin to spark a flame in everyone to stop watching your channel. I'm going to try everything in my power to have you held to a certain level of accountability. And until you do that, you are canceled over here. Your videos get no.
He said your videos get no. How is it possible for them not to use Sonnetter's videos? They can't. He's the foundation. They're always using his videos. Garfield just went over the debate. You, Chris, went over the debate that we just did with Jabari. Stop the cap. But I'd love to see you do your own thing. I'd love to see you mind your own business, do your own original thought. Don't even critique anything we do in the HOK. You can't. You can't.
Replay time, nor does any of the scholarship over here get no replay time. Free debates coming soon.
He said free debates coming soon as if that's like a diss on us. Hopefully they'll be free because ain't nobody going to be paying to watch you debate Akmalak and Battle Truth. Check. Listen.
309 people here, and they haven't heard me call out your name one time.
This is the guy who has a video on his channel calling Sonnetter's wife, me, a whore, a bop, saying that accusing me of sleeping with all kinds of men, accusing me of sleeping with killer priests, accusing me of sleeping with real life street stars. He's a fake.
Wow.
Yeah. He said I was trying to have sex with the real life street star brothers. Genesis, let me ask you, I don't want to get too deep into this. Was Sonnetter in Texas with me when I went to do that interview?
He was there and he was supposed to do an interview too.
Yeah, and he's going back to do the interview. Thank you. Chris, they don't want you. He's mad because he said that because I said that they're not interested in you, Chris Harris. They're not. That's why you're gang stalking, because interesting people are the targets of the gang stalkers. Okay. Now, I'd say all of our HOK chat is 1,000 times more interesting than Chris Harris. And I'm not playing. I used to sit back and say, well, Sonnetter, he had an appeal that Sonnetter enjoyed because Sonnetter's the GOAT. He knows how to, he's a Don King. He's like, yeah, this guy really hates the Bible. And he says he reads. Let me bring him in for some debates. And Sonnetter, it was good TV, so to speak. But we all know that you didn't know what you're talking about, Chris. We knew it. That's why Sonnetter said you didn't win any debates. That's why you always ran from debates. That's why you always cursed out your opponents or cursed the audience out. Paid audiences, Chris Harris. People paid $30 a ticket to see you debate Pastor Bennett. Chris Harris, you told the audience yo, F this debate, and left because the mic of the moderator accidentally came on. All right, let's listen to I just want you to, I'm gonna let you hear the part where he says we might come back. No, you won't.
Because see, I can speak and articulate myself better than most people can and hold the audience's attention. This is what it's about. I host debates over here. And he probably know. And he start feeling beat up. And we can all come together. The same people that are no longer on the platform put together events for this community because that's what the community wants.
You hear that, y'all? He wants to start doing what Sonetter does, but he doesn't just want to start doing what Sonetter does. Shout out to DMG trying to build his debate platform up, and anyone else. He wants to tear down HOK. You heard him. You heard him. Gangstalk. He wants to do what Sonetter does. Okay. But he wants to tear Sonetter down.
Why does he feel like something has to like die in order for him to live?
Talk.
Why does he have, you know what I'm saying? Why does he feel like, why can't he just do what he gonna do?
Yeah, is Sonetter live now? I think Sonetter might be live. But let me let you.
I want to also show you. I probably played in the back chat for you to hear. But you know, if I show you what this woman just said about my children, it's gonna blow your mind.
Oh my God! Is it something on YouTube?
Yeah.
Is it vile that it might get the channel struck?
I don't think it will because she didn't get struck, and I played it on mine. But you know, what I'll do. Do you have a overlay?
Yeah, I do, but they're really crazy. That's why I'm even speeding him up because they are crazy on YouTube when it comes to Sonetter and my channel. I mean, I just have a small channel, but I mean, compared to yours and Sonetter's, but yeah, I'm gonna have to just listen to that.
I listen because it's not cool at all.
Well, what is she? Give us the gist of it, and then I'll see if I can play it.
So she's a mental health professional, and I told her about bedwetting, right? That my oldest daughter, she's autistic, right?
Oh wow!
And she actually exposed that out to everybody in the world. That my oldest daughter that has autism.
Why? Oh no, that is sad. Why would she do
she's
that?
A mental health professional.
Oh, you can get her license taken. She can't do that. She legally cannot. When I say legally, she gets her license taken for doing. If she's disclosing information that you told her as a mental health professional, meaning if you were confiding in her as a friend, she can't lose her license. But that's, people are going to look at her.
Well, the only reason why I really confided in her like that was because I knew that she knew mental health and that she was, she understood different, disabilities and this, that, the other. And so I told her about that. But she made it about the people I had in my house before and then turned it into that. So
okay, that's a sick person because I talked to you about that now that you brought it up. That's common, and usually there's very intricate, like it could be hereditary, it could be something she's dealing with anxiety, emotionally, internally, it doesn't even have to be external all the time. You should, that child would have to get therapy, and then you get to the bottom of that. But
then she said that she suggested me to go to therapy, but when I didn't, I went to the Babalawo, and then she dissed me about that. But she used my religious practice against me.
Well, I will say this to you, Genesis, and all parents who are dealing with bedwetting. It really is something you do not have to. How do I say? Don't get frustrated over it. You get the waterproof mattress cover. And I'm not giving, this isn't professional advice. I'm saying consult with a doctor, make sure that
I have consulted with a doctor. They say give her Benadryl. And I just did not agree with
Don't give Benadryl. That doesn't help. That makes it worse. I'm telling you, I talked to you about this. Benadryl makes it worse because from my experience, I'm talking as a person, as a friend, not as a healthcare professional. Benadryl makes it worse because they go into a deeper sleep. And when they're in a deeper sleep, that doesn't help them as far as like, that cue to get up. But really, you're supposed to be able to sleep throughout the night for at least 7 to 8 hours without having to use the bathroom.
Yeah, that's what the doctor told me. But when it really comes down to my daughter, like she I don't know. It's like, to me, when I told her, so imagine I tell you, so I told you something similar, right?
Well, why don't you do this? Let's play her thing since we're talking about it.
Okay, put like a thing. I don't want to give her no shout.
As long as she's not talking about.
Okay, no, put a screen.
I can do the screen overlay, but if she's not saying anything about sex or child abuse or anything, right? Or is she? Because I can't play that. She is. Wow, that is sick. Is she?
Well, what she does is that she tries to connect that to
my God,
people in my house and that something possibly could have happened to my, like on that type of level, like that.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. These people. we don't rule things out when it's a very sensitive topic, but you don't go to that first. That's at the bottom of the list. Meaning, unless there is something where you
My
said,
daughter's 16 years old. Those people were only in my house like a year ago. So if you imagine she's been having that until 16. So like,
well, do you suspect anything of the sort? Did you leave your daughter alone with people and things like
no,
that?
my
Okay,
daughter is
good.
very antisocial. She's like,
Yeah,
she's
I
like
know.
she don't like to be bothered with nobody.
I needed to ask that. I already knew that answer, but I needed to, because we're live. This isn't
She don't
something I
even like to
want
be bothered with me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. This isn't something I want to do.
She wasn't
This is
hanging out
too
with people or
sensitive.
none of that. She just to herself.
Genesis is a great mom. Nothing has happened to her children. She's with her children all the time. It's all girls, pretty much. So for that person to do that, there's a lot of children, a lot of teens. Typically, it happens in boys, but girls too. They do bedwetting. I'm just saying this to all parents: get the waterproof mattress covers. Make sure that you do the routine. No liquids before bed. Empty the bladder. Make sure the bladder's emptied.
Well, she actually stopped. That's the thing that's sad about it, is that they stopped doing that. So she's talking about something I talked to her about almost like a year, like 8
Oh,
months
I'm
ago.
so glad. Yeah, she did stop because you had brought it up. And see, it stopped. Isn't that awesome?
But for both of my kids, my
I'm so
kid was
happy
5
for
years
you.
old. It stopped with her, and then stopped with the other.
Yeah,
Maybe it might have been maybe because I was going through some depression.
of
It
course.
might have been triggering them. However, to turn that into something to use
Always something about trying to say something happened to some sexual abuse. Always. Excuse me.
or try to weaponize that against me. Oh, let me talk about your children. You need to
I'm
get
sorry.
you know what I'm saying? So here's the thing, like, is that we as people on the internet, we have to like be responsible.
Who are you talking about though? I need to know. Because you never told me.
I'm gonna share you the screen.
Do I know who she is? Please say no.
You might know her. I don't think you do.
Oh, I thought it was like, oh God, Genesis. Well, let me talk to Genesis and talk to people. Everybody, stop letting these people get into your life and tell you they love you and they want to be your friends. It's sad, but when you're in the position that we're in, a lot of people, they don't really love you. They just want to get in your life and twist what you say and twist your life around.
That's exactly what I found out. I found out that her whole like position in my life really was just to like just get information and use it against me in the end. And that's sad and then she was working with someone else to do it. So I think it's sad that people will really, and this person is like really like old. You know what I'm saying? Like that's another thing. A lot of you will think that these are teenagers doing, or like 20.
No, these are older people in their 40s and 50s, 30s and 40s and 50s.
No, sometimes kid not to be 60, 70.
Damn.
I'm like, you still know how to use the computer, man? Like,
oh yeah, they waiting for Sonetta. They want me to wrap it up. Yeah, he's probably waiting for me to finish. But Genesis, I have my heart goes out to you for that. I love you. That's a damn shame. They need to leave our children alone. It is about gang stalking this stream. I'm so glad you hit the panel. You added so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, so I just did this for the family, meaning the HOK family first, but also for the audience who's like, damn, well, is Sonetter's wife tearing him down? And oh, I did. Is she a liar? Is she lying on everybody? No, I'm not lying on any of you. So stop trying to tear down Genesis' life, my life, Sonetter's life, and anyone, Kevin Wesley's life. Rest in power to Kevin Samuels. Stop trying to tear us down just because you don't agree with us. You don't get to
some real content. Like,
oh no, that's right. Tell it. That's
some real content. Like, why can't you come up with some ideas for content other than tearing people down? That's
all they got.
Is that like you clearly cannot come up with like genuine ideas to actually make your content pop. So the only thing that you could do is ride off of other people's names and then take that name and then try to ride their wave and then make that into your content. You know what I'm saying? Trying to like see what you could do by putting that name in the title. Oh, okay, I put Natasha Dye in the title. Guess what? I get 1,000 hits. But if I talk about anything else, I get maybe 2 people in the chat.
That actually happened with Neo X. She was over there talking about something, and she acted like I was hiding. I actually used my account with my video. It was a different account, but it has my face on it, one of my videos. And I was like, wow, you didn't put my name in the title or Sonetter's, and you only got 2 people. I think I said something like that. Of course, Texas.
That's what it boils down to, is that the only way that they're able to make any money, because if they're monetized, and it's really that they're all on a race for content, right? And the only way for them to actually generate any money or any income is to throw your name in there, and then they get interest. Because if they just rest on their own like name and whoever they are,
right,
then they would be able to, like, if they actually built their own name up instead of like talking about you 24/7, then they would have something. But rather than that, they want to take a shortcut, use your name, and then get the views.
Yep, and sit there and lie through their teeth, and people like, oh, I can't believe that. Oh, is that really her? Oh, yeah, that's them. I saw them do. So I want you to hear. Thank you, Genesis, for joining. You made this so much better. I appreciate you. I want you to hear everybody once again. I want you to hear this guy say, we're gonna do basically what Sonetta does. We're gonna do debates, and we're gonna do this and this because we don't want you to do it. Oh, really? I don't think so.
Right. Well, do it. You don't have to like cut someone else down to do it. It ain't gonna be crabs in the barrel.
Oh, he's a crab in the barrel because see, they're jealous. They're mad. And they got locked out. And what do they want to do? Try to blame me? No, blame yourself. Let's listen, please.
And beat Rob or
Yeah. His laugh sounds like his breath stinks. Let me finish letting you hear this.
Garfield read up. And we can all come together, the same people that are no longer on the platform, put together events for this community because that's what the community wants. We can put together excellent events for this community without you. We don't need you. If you have no accountability, see how easy that is? I'm the total contrast of what you presented yourself to me yesterday on that channel when you slandered my name.
Nobody slandered him.
Don't say it with your mouth, say it with your actions. Just do it.
Yeah, nobody slandered him. All Sonetta did was play his voice. It's weird. I don't think he knows what slander means. Let me get the
Listen, you're right. I went back over there. You're right, but I won't be returning. So you don't have to say it a third time.
Okay, you won't be returning. You're
So
damn right about that.
People in the building, there's no slander, there's no understanding and intelligence. So show some accountability. Show everybody why this is the country. Show everybody you are an intelligent black man. Tell your wife to stop spreading gossip and lies on everybody. Tell us what's video correctly. And then maybe, just maybe,
gaslight. He's now watching. Maybe, just maybe what? Let's listen.
a new branch of debaters or scholars would love to, are going to start fleeing over there to your channel and want to sit up there and make that channel something I know you want it to become. But until then, the house has fallen. With that being said, I want to shout out to everybody that is tuned in to this today. I want to say shout out to Top Flight TV and my sister Nia.
Oh, okay. Maybe I was wrong. He said a new batch of debaters going to come over there. Boy, bye. You don't want, you want to be back over there, and you know can't. Right, Revelation? Peace, Amon-Ra McCarthy. All right.
Here's the question. So hold on. Here's one question I asked.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point, you and what's his name, Judah Nazareth was against each other, right? If they come back and apologize, would you accept their apology the same you did with Judah?
No, it's different than with Judah because first off, let me tell you, Judah Naz, before I went to the HOK, I was associated with him. I was a friend. And so I knew Judah, and I know what kind of person he is. And he didn't know Sonnetter. Everybody, every time you say, oh, I know Sonnetter, there's going to be a bunch of people trying to lie and say he's the devil. And then there's going to be some people say, no, he's great. But I didn't know any of those people. So just like Judah didn't know any of those people, he heard what I heard, that Sonnetter is this evil person who hates the Most High. And so when I was like, I'm going on the HOK, you can even go watch my first video. I was cool with Judah and Rob Rack. Those were like my friends, like on the internet, right? Because they would defend me against Chris Harris and a lot of the men over there who would.
I remember Rob Rack. You had me on the show with Rock. I was on the show.
Right. I'm not cool with him anymore, but that's a different story. Okay, so Judah was cool, and then once I went to the HOK, he had a manic moment or whatever. I'm just saying manic. I'm not saying he's manic, but he was like, "No, you're going to turn against the Most High," and then he was like, "Sonnetter's the devil," and that's what was going on with Judah. It wasn't like an evil, genuinely deep evil. It was like, F him, he's a blasphemer. And Sonnetter was saying some wild things about the Most High. Amon-Ra McCarthy knows everybody. And so that was back in Revelation, who they love Sonnetter, and Judah loves Sonnetter too. Now he understands. And Sonnetter has said, okay, I told you before, he said, I'm not going to do that kind of stuff, talk that way. I'll approach it a different way. I'll still bang, but I'm not going to get super blasphemous. So that was Judah's issue. The reason I'm saying the background is that's how we can repair it, because it wasn't just a hatred and a jealousy coming in. Now, Chris Harris hated Sonnetter from jump. How do I know? Because when Solar Mind and Lex Vortex were dragging Sonnetter by the crown of the top of his crown, lying on him, Chris Harris would sit in the chat and put up 100% emojis, things like that. Don't quote me, but agreeing, like laughing and going along with it. So he never liked Sonnetter. Yeah, I'm going to say your name, Kansu. Sorry if you try to stay in the background, brother. I'm not saying that you're negative, but I'm going to say Kansu knew Sonnetter, right? Kansu of Team Osiris. And Kansu was like also a go-between, like kind of. Like he was cool with Sonnetter, and Chris Harris knew Kansu. So he was trying to get Kansu to get him in on the platform. Does that make sense? So Chris wanted to just basically get in the platform, but he never liked Sonnetter. He never liked him, ever. And the proof is, he would let people sit in his chat and call Sonetter an AIDS victim. He would let people call me a whore.
Can I just say something real quick about like the elders in our community and how?
But I just want to wrap this up. You asked me a question. I'm gonna let you go, sis. So no, we don't. There's nothing to forgive. They hate Sonetter. They'll never like him. They hate him. Garfield hates Sonetter. Chris hates Sonetter. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say. Go ahead.
So I would say this: Sonetter is an elder, right? There has to be some level of respect for our elders in the community who have done the work. You would not get on a panel with Malcolm X or even like just say what's his name, Farrakhan, right? And do the same thing that you're doing to Sonetter. Now he's been working for years. I mean, House of Conscience is a staple in the community. Why would you want to bring it down? That to me is agent work level stuff. Like, why would you want to bring something down that has been working in the community for so long and helping out so many people, bringing people to the light and making? I mean, how many careers have been shaped by that whole platform? I think it's really messed up that we don't even have any respect for elders anymore. Like that.
Right.
You know, I don't think it's right.
You're absolutely right. And with that said, I actually have an appointment. I appreciate you coming up here. Yes, Max. I'm ending this, and I'm glad everybody was here. Yes, hit dogs holler. Hot dogs holler too. Shout out to the family.
When we leave here, I want to show you this video. So don't.
Yeah, I got to hurry up and see it because I got to get going. I looked at the time. Damn, I'm supposed to be gone at 2. All right. Thank you for joining. Watch Sonetter's stream that he does later on, hopefully. And we're not going to talk about them anymore, but oh, thank you, Pit Crew. That is an honor and a very, very much of a blessing. Thank you. Humble thanks. So I'm going to go ahead and close this down. And I got to see what my friend's what this horrible person said about Genesis' beautiful daughters. All right, Genesis, you still have that debate. So don't think that we forgot about that. We'll be on the HOK Coliseum with that. And yeah, we'll see.
Behind a paywall or just on the Coliseum?
We're probably going to make it a pay debate because that's what we're doing. And because they're affordable debates that he was calling. That's another thing. Chris was dissing the price of the debates, calling value meal debates. Bro, I thought you loved the people. Some debate, Sonetter's cutting the price on debates for a lot of reasons, not just because of what's going on with him. We've been thinking, maybe people can't afford, $20 or $30 all the time. Some debates, they'll be like, okay, I'm gonna pay that 20 or that 30. But
yeah.
$5, $7, $10, $3. Look, we want to get the house full. So with that said, peace to the darkest minds of the light, peace to the HOK family, peace to everyone who doesn't want to tear down someone else just because you're not doing it yourself. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream. Peace and love. She's sassy and prissy. Oh my gosh.
I love who I am. I'm loving me. Look in the mirror. Unapologetically. Love what I see. Love who I am. I am invincible. I am within. My curves and my features, God makes no mistakes. I am successful. I am what it takes. I'm bulletproof. I'm 100 proof, and I love who I see because I'm living my truth. I'm invincible. I'm incredible. A star in the making. I reach past the clouds. I'm invincible. I'm incredible.